Hi guys, Comics SCW here, Agent Steve, back at you with another comic review. Today we're reviewing the last ever issue of The Walking Dead, issue 193. Here it is, my physical copy, and it's signed by Charlie Adlard. I have a certificate of authenticity to prove that it's his signature, and it's a first print, so I'm really happy about this. So I'm not taking it out of the packaging. I've got my notes here, so let's get on with the review. So this issue takes place a lot longer after the Lab 192 where Rick dies and Carl finds his body, shoots the zombified Rick, and they have a funeral procession, and it doesn't continue from that. It goes well into the future. We have a grown-up Carl who a walker stumbles across his farm, and he kills it with Michonne's sword. And Carl is now old, he's got an eye patch, he's got a daughter, and he's married to Sophia, and his daughter is called Andrea, named after obviously Andrea from the comic, who died a while ago in the comic. So they have a farm life. They're trying to he kills the walker. He wants to make sure his daughter doesn't see the walker because she has never seen one before in this world that they've kind of created after Rick's death. There's kind of peace and order, so it's kind of weird. We find out that this walker stumbled upon the farm because it's part of a travelling show run by Herschel, who is Maggie and Glenn's son. He's grown up and he's now got kind of like a sideshow, freak show kind of thing, but with walkers. So walkers have now become a rarity. They're an attraction and he's using them to get money. And he gets really annoyed with Carl when he finds out that Carl's killed the walker because he wanted it back alive. So he goes. The scenery in it is very old western, kind of Red Dead Redemption 2 looking in terms of the buildings and the scenery and the clothes they're wearing. It's very much old west, kind of rebuilding. So we get to meet the sheriff, who was teased in a fake solicitation for the next issue, which was 194, which doesn't exist. But he was teased on the cover, and we meet him in this issue. And he arrests Carl for destroying the walker, and we have a big court scene where we find out that Maggie is president of this community. She comes in and says Carl is let off the hook for killing the walker. All he has to do is replace the walker for her son Herschel's show. Obviously Carl doesn't like that too much and decides to kill the rest of the walkers in this sideshow travelling show and go off to do his job. We find out his job is delivering supplies in this world. He has a horse and cart and he delivers stuff. And he meets up with Lydia, who is his ex-girlfriend, who's wearing his iconic hat. And they go off and they deliver around places. They stop off at Negan's house. We know it's Negan's house because it has a gravestone outside saying Lucille, with flowers outside, which is really nice, but we don't actually get to see Negan. But we know it's kind of his house. And then they meet up with Eugene, who's building the Western Front, which is like a train, which is a historical kind of moment for this world, because they're getting a train line from one side to the other of this world that's rarely got walkers in it now. And it's really interesting to see this kind of Wild West theme again. And we also get a gorgeous page with birds. Because the people in this world have been dying out and there's more walkers in the past, the birds have repopulated, and they get this 2-page spread or 1-page spread, I can't remember, of just birds in the sky. There's loads of them because they've been able to repopulate because people aren't killing them. So Carl has an interesting conversation with Lydia in the tent. They reminisce about the past. She asks why he still wears the eye patch to bed instead of... He reminds he's trying to keep this world away from his daughter Andrea. and that's kind of important. Kind of this world that Rick sacrificed himself for has been established, and it's real. So when Carl gets back from his trip delivering these supplies to Eugene, who's building this railway with trains in this Commonwealth world, Carl again gets arrested for killing the rest of the walkers. This time he has to go to the capital to face the High Court kind of thing. And the judge there is Michonne, so you already know that Carl's off the hook, because it's again another person who's friends and been through this whole thing with Carl from kind of a long time with the walkers and that, so you know Carl's not going to get in trouble again. So again, he gets off with it and he doesn't have to replace the walker, which really annoys Herschel. And then they go outside, him and Sophia, Carl's wife, Sophia being in the comic for such a long time too, who was Carol's daughter but then got adopted by Maggie and Glenn, is now Carl's wife. They see a statue of Rick, which is reminiscent of the cover that we saw for issue 191, with his fist his stump in the air, and it's now a statue, which is pretty cool. And then we see what everyone else is doing in this world. We see Jesus, we see Negan putting flowers on Lucille's grave, we see Maggie talking to Herschel about what he's done, why he's doing this, Michonne visiting her daughter and her family, stuff like that. And we see Princess with a dog being very important because we haven't seen many animals in The Walking Dead, and this is a dog now that can freely have pets and stuff because there's no walker threat. And at the end, Carl goes home with Sophia to see Andrea, his daughter, and he reads Andrea a bedtime story, which is basically The Walking Dead. The whole series that we've read up to now is from Carl's perspective of his dad Rick, and it tells Rick's life from when he was in a coma to when he dies, and Carl tells this story to Andrea, and The Walking Dead ends on a happy note, with him in his chair, with his daughter on his lap, reading this book, The Walking Dead. And that's how it ends. That's it. That's how the issue ends. That's how The Walking Dead ends. After 193 issues, with a couple of specials in between, this is the end of The Walking Dead. Robert Kirkman leaves a letter in the back of the issue. Luckily, I got a review issue from Image, so I just need to thank Image Comics for giving me a review copy of a PDF file of this issue, so I don't have to open my signed edition. So that was very kind of them. My local comic shop ran out. They were meant to save me one, but they didn't, so it was very hard to get an issue, but I have an issue now, so I'm quite happy. But there's no more. There's no more Walking Dead unless Robert Kirkman revives the series at some point. That's it. The series is done. Was I happy with the ending? Yes, I liked the time skip to an old man Carl with a farm. It's just nice. It's sweet. It's bittersweet. There wasn't a lot of walkers in it, but it kind of shows the progression of there's loads of walkers at the beginning, and then slowly they're dying out. They're becoming a dying breed. And this is the world that Rick created by his death and his sacrifice is here and cemented in this issue. So I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 anyway, because it's just the end issue. It's bittersweet. I like the happy ending at the end with Carl and his daughter, and it was a solid issue. If you want to read some of Robert Kirkman's other work, Outcast is coming to an end, Invincible ended, a lot of Kirkman's books are ending, so I don't know what he's got planned for more series, but he's got Oblivion Song still going that you can read, and Die Die Die, which he co-created, but Fever Thieves ended as well, which he founded as well. So there's a lot of his books are ending, but doesn't mean Kirkman hasn't got other books that he's going to launch, and people are going to buy these issue ones and buy them. I've got another video coming out soon talking about key issues and why they gave up for so much on eBay and other places, so look out for that video. So thanks for watching, guys. I've been Comics SCW, Agent Steve. Please leave a like down below and a comment on what you thought of The Walking Dead 193 ending and the end of The Walking Dead. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!